All right. Looking sharp. Yeah, man. Yeah, Charles Cross. We stayed right there at 9. Feel really blessed that he was. We feel like he fell to us, and I think you're gonna love this guy. Very high character. 2-parent home. His parents are awesome. He's 700 some snaps last year. Phenomenal pass protector. Former basketball player. Really good basketball player as well. So he's made that transition. Not a lot of you've probably heard over the last 2 days or 7 months or whatever about the run game stuff. We feel like the guy's a really good athlete. Is going to be able to run his feet and bend and he can really move in space. So really kind of a scheme deal that they had there with Coach Leach, where they threw the ball like crazy, and he did a phenomenal job. Great job against top competition, playing in the SEC. Had a really nice game against Alabama, and so we're just really excited that we have a pillar at left tackle.
John, you've talked about how offensive linemen don't grow on trees and how it's hard to get those guys with, how few of them are being produced in college. Picking at number 9, did it just seem like an opportunity that you couldn't pass up, given how hard it is to find that guy when you're usually picking later?
Yeah, absolutely. There was 3 guys, right, that everybody kind of saw, right? So, and we feel like we were blessed enough to get one of them.
You said that he fell to you.
I'm talking like top 10 guys,
You said that he fell to you. Were there nervous moments in the draft room, Pete and John?
There was a
Waiting
few
for that?
moments.
Well, he doesn't get nervous, but Pete doesn't get nervous. But
there's
yeah,
a
I
few
was nervous.
Yeah.
Of course you're.
Yeah, a couple things had to happen, obviously, for that to occur, and so we were doing a little cheerleading in there. Yeah.
The number of defensive players taken first, is that what you're talking about that needed to happen?
Well, everything that happened needed to occur, for him to get to us, and we loved him going in, and we're hoping that would be something that could have come. We didn't know, and so it just started to go, and then the momentum kind of built up, and fortunately it turned. We got a shot to get Charles, and that's a big deal. And so he's a very, very good athlete, unusually good athlete, and so we're really fired up about it.
And you see him as a left tackle, right?
Yes.
Pete, John mentioned the basketball you love, multiple guys. How much did that background play into it?
Yeah, you can see his footwork. I know that you're the 700 passes last year, but he can run block too. He can really move his feet, and he can get off the ball and do the cutoff blocks on the backside and the front side stuff, and get on the second level and stay on his feet and really be agile about all of that. And he's just an excellent prospect to be a left tackle, and he's played against great competition and held up well. I heard him on his interview mention that he had played well against Alabama. I thought, I'm going to go look at that one more time. So I've already looked at it again. He was right. He played really well against them. So.
What was it particular about the game? Obviously the competition with Alabama, but what jumps out in that particular game?
In that particular game, they did a lot of games, and he had a lot of switches to make good adjustments on. And they rushed maybe at least four different types of rushers at him, and he handled all of them. A couple smaller guys, a couple bigger guys, and that's a really good club too. I didn't go back. I went back to this year, not last year, to check that out, and so it was just impressive. And I just kind of, he said it, so I just kind of wanted to make sure I could,
The way you finished too, right? You're playing against Alabama.
Yeah.
And so, he's finishing against big people.
Yeah.
For both of you, how much is this going back really to your roots? You drafted a Coon the first time you got a pick, and now you're...
A little irony there, yeah. I was kind of anticipating you guys might see that. It's a great place to start, really is. For when you're trying to build an offensive line, always, and that left tackle spot is so crucial and all of that. And it's a nice pick.
You've talked before about issues with offensive linemen coming from spread systems and making that transition. What is it about, Mississippi State system that makes you confident that Charles can make the transition maybe a little bit better?
Well, when you're thinking left tackle, you're thinking pass protection. That's really the first thought, and he is he has had as much work at that as you could have. Mike runs an offense that's going to demand it, and he was out by himself a lot on the island out there, just like a guy has to be, and he had no problem with any of the movement, and he is stout enough to unload. He runs really well. He's a fast kid for a tackle, and you could just see all of that athleticism goes back to the hoops ability, but it just seemed to fit. That's the first thing is you want. Can he kick out and get on those fast guys and handle all the adjustments? And there's no problem for him at all. So the running game will be something we'll focus, just to catch him up and all that. We heard him talk, and he's said in interviews, he's been in a three-point stance, and he's worked on that in his past, I think, as a high school player, and it won't be a big transition for him at all. He's too athletic to let that be any concern. So we really don't have any concern other than to make sure that he's, he comes in and he's got great work habits. His coaches rave about all of that, and our scouts uncovered all of that too. So it's just going to be the process of getting him ready and adapting him to our game. So.
John, was there much temptation or whatever to move up, move down, the trade opportunities?
There was an opportunity to move up that just disappeared, and there was a couple to go back that disappeared as well. But I mean, he came to us, and so we're really pretty blessed that he was there.
Similar to Tim, you've seen prospects in air raid offenses before, whether it's
Sure.
Diller a few years ago over there at Wazoo or whatnot.
Yeah.
What's the challenge in trying to scout guys in that scheme, projecting them to this level, and trying to figure out the essence of what they can be to make that jump?
Well, I think, spread offense when you're playing in the SEC, the size and speed is just, it's just different, right? It's the closest thing to the National Football League. So when you're able to watch a guy compete against that type of competition, it just makes it that much easier to evaluate. And again, we're going to harp on this, but he's such a good athlete, and he has such a good brain that we feel like, we're going to be able to, our coaches are going to be able to really help him out in terms of, the quantity of the run game that's going to be placed on him.
It's hard to think that 310 or 315 is light, but some of the other elite tackles had a few more pounds on him. When you watch him on tape, is he playing at the weight you want, or do you talk about as he comes in, maybe he'll naturally gain a little more weight, or do you want more weight on him?
Yeah, he's going to get bigger.
Yeah,
he'll get bigger. He's 315 right now, I believe, right around there. And
it's a big man.
2 years,
It's a big man
two
already,
two years ago he was 289, maybe 285, right in there. Maybe 3 years ago.
He'll naturally gain weight. I bet he'll play in the 20s in the years to come, but he's big enough right now.
Yeah,
Big enough, long enough,
he's a
quick
big
enough,
he's a
and
big
all that.
person.
Yeah.
What did you like about the personality?
He's country now. He's real country, which
Yeah, he's from a little small town outside of Hattiesburg. He's just just
and he's really
great
grounded,
guy, great family.
grounded and clear, about what's important to him and all of that. I mean, he's a really solid kid, and so it just makes it really not a difficult pick. With the fact that he got to us was what was great, and he's got the whole makeup and the whole package. So,
And the guys that were involved in the process, right? I mean, Steve Hutchinson as well, Andy, the offensive staff, and then Matt Berry and Trent and all the guys that spent a ton of time with him. I mean, we really feel like we have a really, really clear picture of the player and the person. When the guy just checks all the boxes, it wasn't, once he was still there, it was a big deal.
John, you mentioned Hutch a couple times when it comes to offensive line guys. What kind of asset is that when you're evaluating offensive linemen to have a Hall of Famer you can?
Well, he loves it. He loves it. He loves the process. He loves cruising around the country and just speaking with offensive line coaches and just kind of focusing on that and then being able to do whatever he wants to do that Hall of Famers do. So
Hutch loves
it's
the
great.
Seahawks too. He loves representing, and he's real proud of his background and his history, and he connects a lot of good things for us. And I love listening to him. His thoughts about stuff, and he's a really connected with helping with the staff and all of that too. I mean, he's as rare a player as you can find, and he can really communicate too. And so he's a real asset.
In the interview that you listened to, he mentioned nastiness as a quality that he had and that you guys covered. Did you see that too? And is it something?
Yeah, and his finishing really was, he's finishing guys off. You can tell when the guy's really, he gets in command of the block, and he's got an attitude to let you know that he's going to whip your butt, there's just nothing that we didn't like. I mean, really, every aspect of it is the grit that he brings is going to be really a compliment to the rest of our guys.
How did the first 8 picks go compared to how you thought the board would fall?
Wow.
I haven't really had time to sit and look at it, Brady. Sorry. I'll go back in there and
I would tell you though,
check
too,
it out.
that we've been through so many scenarios, John. That there's guys who've gone through everything you could possibly could happen, and as it started to go, it got exciting, and that we would have a shot, and I thought it was cool watching these guys because they were really, they'd been through everything, and so we had so many different thoughts that could occur, and all of a sudden, bang, bang, and it in pretty quick fashion, there it was. So.
Now that
Pretty
you've
exciting.
had the pick, how resolved were you to stay at 9 versus maybe had your Charles not been there? How happily and readily willing would have you been to trade back? Did you have some kind of philosophy? Hey, we're anchored at 9, or were we willing?
He was basically a very close cutoff.
He was a close call.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at tomorrow, just what kind of opportunities have that 41, 42?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
We're
tomorrow's really cool. Yeah, that's exciting.
John, how different was the dynamic of only one quarterback taken in the first round, and how might that have changed trade offers and teams wanting to move up in the third quarterback derby?
Just circling, we're talking about the first round. So, I personally feel that for these young guys that are competitors, they're young men. Sometimes the pressure that's placed on them, right? They're supposed to be first round draft choices. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. There's several good quarterbacks in this draft, and there's millions of mock drafts, and that's cool. It's entertainment. We all get it. But you end up kind of feeling bad for these guys, right? There's just so much pressure on them, and there's a bunch of them that'll get picked. Several tomorrow, for sure. But the pressure of the first round is always stronger, especially for quarterbacks.
Did it change the amount of calls or offers or possibilities you had, or league-wide deals that went on because there was so few quarterbacks worthy of the first round?
That's hard to answer. I haven't really. I don't have an answer for that right now. Maybe tomorrow I'll think about it. Yeah.
Pete, what part of the clue was cross?
Huh?
Clues?
Hey, that's for you guys to figure out. I never reveal my source on that kind of stuff. It's important though. But we had
Crisscross will make you.
We had,
The Daddy Mac will make
that was
you.
too. We couldn't use that. We thought about it, but we couldn't use it. Yeah. Could have, but we thought it was a giveaway. So.
You played sailing?
All right, thank you, everybody.
See you guys.